Whenever it starts recording. There we go. Hello, YouTube, which is also where I'm streaming this. This is the TWAB. It's live. Imagine that. I'm here with Lucille and Holly.
Hi.
Heyo.
So, this week at Bungie, we're talking weapons. This is it, the last TWAB of the season. It's been a blast watching new Guardians splice their way through the Vex network, tackle Vault of Glass, and pile up a ton of new rewards during Season of the Splicer. We have jam-packed a lot of Destiny moments since Beyond Light debuted this fall. As we prepare to look forward next week, let's take a look back at some of the most epic Destiny moments. How long?
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
we'll watch this. It's a minute.
We're just going right into like the trailer, huh?
I think this is just what they put on Twitter.
It
I think it is.
Beyond light!
Stasis is just a tool.
It's an ice tornado, dude.
That was the sickest thing I've ever seen.
I'm in space! It's freaking
I'm in space!
ultimate! Bow.
They love that I'm in space clip.
Yeah, it's a great clip.
What's those babies falling? They're so cute! No. Together, we are enough.
I'm gonna shoot you with 6 anarchies. You're gonna sprint at that Gorgon. Run! Godspeed, little doodle. Run!
Yee. Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
We are less
Pretty
than
good.
a week away from the big reveal showcase. No spoilers, but we have a tune-in page set up and we'll be streaming on both Twitch and YouTube on August 24th. 7 years of Destiny have led to this moment. Join us to learn more, blah, 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 blah. 8 a.m. Pacific. Showcase will kick off at 9 a.m. That's an hour before reset, whenever that is for you. Alright, this is why we're here. Chris Proctor, weapon tuning.
Here we go.
Alright. We've already covered ability tuning, armor and mod changes. It's time to go over the weapons. Here is weapons feature lead Chris Proctor with a full rundown. Good day, it's Chris again. We've got a lot to talk about for Season 15, including stasis weapons, a rework of fusion rifles, and several changes intended to make certain weapons more relevant in the new activity and with the new artifact mods. Let's kick off by clarifying some terminology.
Oh, nice.
That's
So,
gonna be good to know.
here's some definition of terms. Some of the recent info on weapons we've put out has been confusing. Generally like to use our internal terms for concepts where possible. In some cases, these require too much explanation to use them externally. Here are some definitions and clarifications. We're gonna finally get word from the horse's mouth about what the hell a cone is.
Let's go.
Although, everyone kind of already, or a lot of people knew that already. Whatever. Fall off. Internally, we use fall off minimum and maximum to mean start and end, but moving forward, we'll use these externally, using damage as an example. Same logic applies to aim assist and whatnot. So, damage fall off start, that is when it begins or stops doing maximum damage, and the damage fall off end is the point at which the fall off ends or it hits the damage floor, as in past this distance, you're not dealing any less damage, no matter how much further out you get. Projectiles. We've used various terms to describe these types externally, including borrowing terms from other genres. Oops. But have settled on these. Hit scan. A projectile that instantly hits applies to most things in the games. Auto rifles, hand cannons, fusion rifles, fully drawn bows at most distances. Interesting. Non-hit scan, sometimes projectile with travel time, sometimes having physics bounces, often having explosive ender homing. Example, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, partially drawn bows, Jotun.
Yeah.
Specifically Jotun.
Okay.
Shotguns.
Here we go.
Spread angle. The cone that pellets come out in, not to be confused with one of the other types of cones. This determines the size of the outer ring below. Destiny 2 shotguns don't have pure RNG for pellet distribution, though yes, it sure feels like it sometimes, which seems worth diving into. It contains... Okay, so a shotgun shot contains 12 pellets spread out across 3 rings as follows. So in the center, you will always have 1 pellet right in the middle. Okay. In the inner ring, you have 4 wedges with 1 pellet each. And on the outer ring, you have 7 wedges with 1 pellet each. Okay.
Okay.
Aside from the center, which is a fixed location, each pellet is only randomized inside a defined wedge angle and inner-outer radius. Interesting.
Yeah,
So it's like
makes sense.
partially RNG.
Mhm.
Global.
Here we
I
go.
read down a little bit. I'm not gonna read it yet, but I peeped it. I saw it. Season 15 introduces legendary stasis weapons, and we've seen some concern about how these are intended to work, particularly in PvP, so here are some details. Stasis power weapons are in the power slot,
Okay.
but all other stasis weapons are in the kinetic slot. This is to avoid overcrowding the energy slot,
That makes
and so that it's
sense.
reasonable to use one in match game content. The kinetic slot won't be renamed at this time. Stasis weapons don't intrinsically do anything differently from other weapons or other damage types, but they are the only weapons that can roll with stasis perks.
Stasis
Interesting.
perks?
Stasis
All
perk.
right.
Okay. We generally intend stasis perks with slowing or freezing effects to have a kill trigger. This
That
being
makes sense.
This being easy enough to trigger in PvE and fun to use, but not obnoxious to play against in PvP. And
Good.
if it's something like cryosthesia, that'll be fine. I mean,
Yeah,
how many people do you see using cryosthesia?
exactly.
Nope, there it is.
Yep.
Also,
Now
yeah,
the-
like real. Sorry, I was just gonna say real fast with the like kinetic slot won't be renamed at this time. I mean, I could still see an argument for it being still called the kinetic slot because
Mm.
like even though it technically is like space magic, you could also read it as hurling chunks of ice at people, and I would say that's a pretty kinetic thing to do.
True.
Anyway,
Also, for anyone watching, I have a fan on if you're hearing that while I'm talking, which you probably are. Now that we've addressed Quick Draw's permanent plus 100 handling buff, we see more people using the Quick Swap glitch. The glitch uses combinations of inputs to animation cancel, allowing near instant weapon swaps. We want the handling stat to continue to have value on weapons, and don't want, for example, aggressive shotguns to lose their key downside, slow swaps, due to an unintentional side effect of the animation system. Only one thing, they fixed it. No more quick swapping. It's okay, we already did do some cryptids. We don't need it anymore.
All right.
So that also kills double slug.
Yeah.
Depending on what they do with fusions and how good they are. Witherhorde, fusion, auto-loading, lasting impression rocket. I think that's going to be the new best boss DPS setup.
I
Yeah.
agree. Something along those
Unless
lines.
something comes out next season with all this that makes it really good. Makes something else come into play.
All right, so running out. You're going to be happy about this, Lucille.
Yeah.
Running out of primary ammo has never been tactically interesting. Running out
That
in
is
hard
completely
PvE,
true.
yeah. Running out in hard PvE content, or because you were on a tear in PvP, was a weird and sometimes frustrating experience that we would like to not subject anyone to in the future. All primary weapons now have infinite ammo. I'm trying to think of Devil's Ruin. This is huge.
Yeah, this is
The biggest problem
massive.
with the biggest problem with Devil's Ruin was that you could laser maybe 10-15 times in a life, and then you were out of ammo. So you can do that now. You can just
Dude.
beam forever.
Sweet business.
Yeah, sweet business. Wait, Titans can... Oh my god. You can fire for so long.
Dude, this sweet business is gonna get so bright that it's gonna blot out the sun.
Fucking sweet business just
That's gonna
fucking
be
melts.
really nice for Outbreak. Tommy's matchbook. Lucille, you and I both know the pain of symmetry, running out of ammo.
God.
Fighting Lion? They have to do something about fighting Lion. They have to.
They are mentioning it. I think I saw it below.
Good.
Yeah.
They have to do something about fighting Lion. There's no way that can be allowed to exist.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, see notes on Fighting Island, Fighting Lion and Sweet Business.
Okay.
In the
We'll
exotic
look at
section below.
We'll look at that
Yeah.
later then. Drop mag's downside of reducing reserve ammo is now almost meaningless. Rework to
True.
be plus reload minus mag size. I can see uses for that.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Compact arrow shaft's upside of increasing reserve ammo likewise. Rework to be plus reload plus handling. Nice.
Okay.
Updated some other perks that refer to reserves in a way that's no longer accurate. So that means that...
Subsistence.
Actually, no, because field prep is still
Oh,
good
wait,
on
yeah.
special ammo.
Hmm.
And yeah, subsistence. I mean, I guess that's also why they made it no longer reduce reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, see notes on fighting line and sweet business in the exotics section below. Target farming trials weapons is much more efficient in Season 15. We have some cool new perks for players to play with that we wanted to put on trials weapons. All trials weapons available in 15 now have 7 perks in each column was 5.
Interesting.
You know what? We got the trials rework coming up, so I'm just gonna trust that they're speaking truth when they say that target farming trials weapons is much more efficient. When max power levels on weapons launched and we reissued several weapons, we saw how frustrated players were at having to regrind their favorite roles, since the perk pools hadn't changed. Based on that, our reissue guidelines from Season 13 onwards were to replace most of the perks. Turns out that was an overcorrection, and that certain perks in the original pools had become part of the identity of a weapon. Tranquility.
Yeah,
The
Tranquility.
Moon Sniper, yeah, poor thing. That got
Jesus
gutted.
Christ.
Moving forward, the guidelines for reissues will be to remove the least useful 2 to 3 perks and add 2 to 3 newer perks that give the weapon some new options and may result in an entirely new top-tier role without removing the old one. Interesting.
Nice.
We've made some small adjustments to weapons reissued in the 3.2.1 update to move these in the direction of the new reissue guidelines, and if you were wondering why our community managers were asking for everyone's favorite roles, now we know.
Alright.
So, added 1 or 2 original perks to each column for the Luna weapons reissued in 3.2.1, i.e. Lectern weapons only. Since these can be target farmed, we're okay with increasing the size of the perk pools in this case. Interesting.
That's fair, yeah.
Added one of the original perks to one or both columns for the Dreaming City weapons reissued in 3.2.1, Tiger Spite, Twilight Oath, Abide the Return. Since these can't be target farmed yet, we didn't want to increase the size of the pools by more than 1. Okay. Yet.
I like that.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if just, like, everywhere had, like, a lectern system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, they said it. Breach grenade launchers.
Here it comes.
Archetypes. Note, exotics receive these changes as written, unless otherwise mentioned in the exotics section below. Breach grenade launchers are increasing as a pain point in PvP, and with the shotgun nerf, we're seeing a small increase in usage. This change aims to reduce the ease of getting big splash damage for priming or cleaning up targets. We'll watch how things change and make further adjustments in a future update if needed. Note that we're fine with how they perform in PvE, so have compensated there.
Yeah, that's fine. They are completely fine in PvE.
Yeah.
So, reduced blast radius by 0.4 meters, as in the max blast radius has decreased from 4.5 to 4.15, and minimum has decreased by the same amount. Reduced the splash damage by 20, which reduces total damage for a direct hit from 220 to 200 before taking spike or proximity grenades into account. And increased damage in PvE by 12% because of the above changes. This results in a small overall buff. Yeah, it would, because you'd only need a 10% buff
Yeah.
to get it back to 220, so that's nice. And Wither Horde is unaffected.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Well, I guess it doesn't really have,
I'm more surprised for PvE.
yeah.
While machine gun usage is surprisingly high, we felt that they weren't fulfilling their intended role in high difficulty content. Someone's fucking keyboard mashed. I can't remember the word in chat about the TWAB now.
He smashed.
Key smash, that's the word. Anyways, machine gun usage is surprisingly high. We felt they weren't fulfilling their intended role in high difficulty content, ammo efficient ad clear, and secondary single target sustained. Flat 20% buff. That's huge.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
gonna be
very
very
big.
nice.
Not gonna say anything but holy. Alright, Dominic.
Alrighty.
Scouts and hand cannons, 15% versus miners. Absolutely no complaints. I think explosive payload scouts are going to be amazing next season.
They're gonna be bopping.
I mean, my time lost Fatebringer is ready.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too.
All right.
All right,
Down.
fusion rifles have benefited indirectly from the mid-season 14 shotgun nerf. But fusion rifle subfamilies weren't as different from each other as we wanted. This is going to be the big section. And
I'm
weren't...
scrolling down a little bit, and there's a giant chunk.
Oh boy, weren't all useful in a variety of content, so we looked at all the options we had for diversifying them and ended up with some substantial changes. This isn't intended as a global buff to fusion rifles, but we expect some of these to be better counters to other weapons than they were personally. Note that we have also evaluated other options which are worth a bit of discussion. So these are the other options. Giving the projectiles travel time, going back to D1. On investigation, found that there are networking issues with firing rapid bursts of non-hit scan projectiles, and they didn't play as well as we wanted them to. May look at this option again in the future. Burst rate of fire. This would have meant touching design data and audio for every fusion rifle we've ever shipped. Well beyond the scope we wanted for this change, and also not that interesting of a change. Yeah, okay, I think I see.
That's fair.
Did I see the huge paste bin leak? I've seen it.
No.
I don't care about the paste bin leak.
Leaks are boring.
I'm
okay.
remotely interested, but not enough to look it out.
Increased PvE damage bonus, such that all subfamilies have a 15% PvE bonus. Previously, high impact was 0, precision and adaptive were 10%, rapid fire was 12. They didn't mention aggressive, I'm scared. Please don't get rid of my precious Coriolis force. Push subfamilies further apart, adjusting charge time, shots fired per burst was 7 for all subfamilies, and damage. Note that the base... Thank you, Doorbell.
Based on what?
Based on what? Note that the base below means without battery perks, a charge time masterwork, or the adept charge time mod. High impacts charge slower, and while still strong, require more planning to use effectively. So they have had their charge time increased to a flat 1 second.
Interesting.
They now only fire 5 bolts instead of 7. Reduce total damage per burst. Interesting. In playtesting, we found that charging these in the open is super risky, but pre-charging around corners or otherwise in safety is very effective. With the reduced shots per burst, these are now less reliant on stability, so can stack a bit more range.
So
that
each bolt is going to do more damage overall?
Maybe. I believe it was 4 bolts to kill a Guardian before. It was 4 or 5. So this will be interesting. Okay, precisions and adaptives.
Close to unchanged. Interesting.
Yeah, close to unchanged. Base charge time is unchanged. Shots per burst is 7. Very slightly increased total damage per burst. And in playtesting, they felt that they are very effective all around without stepping on the niches of high impacts and rapid fires. Be keeping a good plug 1.1 for PvP.
Hold on. I'm trying to find something.
Okay.
What frame is Merciless? Is that a high impact?
High impact.
High impact? Huh, weird. It's a slightly slower charge time. Well, I guess it
Yeah,
speeds
it's...
up it.
Merciless, I guess, technically isn't any of them.
It'll probably be mentioned in the exotic section.
Probably. I mean, I believe they said that they individually tuned all exotic fusions. Alright, rapid fires. They charge faster, allowing them to be used reactively against charging enemies or aggressively when pushing forward. Had their base charge time reduced by 0.08 seconds by 80 milliseconds. Shots per burst increased from 7 to 9.
Jesus Christ.
So that's just gonna be like... That's gonna be fun to see. Increased total damage per burst. In playtesting, we found that these are very effective against shotgun rushers. The combination of them needing to be closer and you having a shorter charge time work well together, and if you have good enough timing, you can fire 2 bursts with a rapid fire before a high-impact user finishes charging their first. With the increased shots per burst, these are now more reliant on stability, but with the increased damage, they're less reliant on range.
Interesting.
Parts of this work required adjusting several fusion rifle perks and one mod. Backup plan's implementation was incompatible with fusion changes. We felt like the perk could use a rework anyways. Removed plus 100 to charge time, adjusted charge time multiplier from 0.85 to 0.7, now scales damage by 0.8. Okay.
Interesting.
Liquid coils and accelerated coils needed a rework for similar reasons. Converted to scale charge time and damage instead of modifying the charge time stat. Final effect is much the same as before, but they are now more robust. However, they won't visibly change the charge time stat in the inspection screen. Okay. Adept charge time mod felt pointless, and we felt like it would still be balanced against other mods if it didn't reduce damage. Changed functionality to scale charge time directly instead of changing the charge time stat without adjusting the damage. Okay. A note on the charge time masterwork. A fusion rifle's damage is determined by its charge time stat, similar to how most other weapons' damage is determined by their rate of fire stat. Masterworks can only increase weapon stats for performance reasons, so it's not possible to change how charge time maps onto damage without big changes to how the stat works. We investigated doing this by making the Masterwork a perk, but this would cause fusion rifles to exceed the perk budget, resulting in bad things happening, as mentioned in a prior TWAB. Yeah, I know they've mentioned before that, like, we can't put three perks on a weapon. Bad things will happen.
Same with multiple exotics.
Yeah. That actually might be why they're not able to put champion mods on every exotic. Or on some of them. It might result in bad things happening.
Actually, now that I think about it, with all the dynamic bones that come with something like Hardlight and Borealis, that would definitely probably cause bad things happening.
Yeah. With the fusion rework, we feel this masterwork is more viable. It now rarely reduces bolts to kills, so may not feel like a downgrade in the same way as before. You know, I'll forgive a little typo. This thing's like 7,000 words long.
Yeah, that fucking happens.
How do you feel that we're only about a third way through this TWAB?
Yeah. We'll be watching to see how this plays out and have some options to address the issue if that's still needed. Adjusted the fusion rifle stat order so it matches other weapons. Aha, stability and handling were out of order. This is a big change to fusions, including all exotic fusions, so we'll be watching for any major issues and we'll make tweaks as needed. Alright, let's just get it over with. Anarchy, reduced total reserve and magazine ammunition from 26 to 16. Reduced damage by 30% versus bosses. Champions are not bosses.
Wow.
Thoughts? I think that's fine. It'll still be good for trapping.
You just won't be able to use. You just won't be able to use it as freely as you did before.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
This is a very fine change. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm totally chill with that.
Yeah.
This just reconfirms, especially with the quick swapping nerf, with a Horde Fusion Rocket. Like if you're doing Templar, I think that's going to be the thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially with all fusions receiving a like 15% PvE bonus. So that's like if every fusion had Vorpal on it right now. Just as a sort of point of comparison. Let's see. Been dominant for years now. We're ignoring the season with Sweet Grenade Launcher artifact mods, of course. Being near mandatory for certain raid bosses, combined with double slug shotguns, as well as excelling as a solo weapon for ad clears in some encounters, we feel that it's a great choice for hard solo content and trapping enemy spawns and choke points. We don't want it to remain part of a dominant tactic for boss damage, and particularly don't want it to be great for boss damage and ad clear in a single encounter. With this change, we expect it to remain strong without being borderline usable as a primary weapon. And yeah, 26 to 16, 30% nerf to bosses.
Yeah.
Xenophage. I was not expecting this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xenophage was already top-notch, so it didn't need to benefit from the global machine gun buff. It does benefit from the damage per bullet buff to machine guns, but now has slower rate of fire to compensate, resulting in slightly lower damage per second, but higher burst and sustained damage, since it's now more ammo efficient. So reduced rate of fire by 25% from 120 to 90 RPM and receives less of the machine gun PvE damage buff.
Okay.
I also think that might help with it being so dominant in PvP, specifically Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that you
That's-
actually need to be a bit more precise with hitting people twice.
Yeah, at 90 RPM, that's gonna make it a lot more forgiving after you get hit the first time.
To
From Xeno.
react and get the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
It's still gonna be good,
Anyways,
but
fighting Lion has always been fun, but not dominant in PvE, so we weren't worried about the impact infinite ammo would have there. However, enabling fast, unlimited grenade spamming was too much in PvP based on internal playtests, and very quickly would have been based on external playtests.
Mm-hmm.
We've addressed that specific case without significantly impacting its feel in PvE. The reserve ammo increased from a lot to infinite. Other changes as other breach launchers. Reduced base reload stat to 0. Breach grenade launchers with 0 reload stat reload very, very slowly.
So it
Wow.
heavily incentivizes that you hit your enemy.
Yeah. Now increases reload speed to its previous level on damaging multiple enemies with one grenade. We'll be keeping an eye on this, believe it's in a good place with this change, and note that we're not going to over-nerf an exotic with its own subreddit. I forgot that r/fighting line was a thing.
Yeah, it's great.
You shouldn't be manually reloading firing line anyway.
Yeah, come on. Like, use the perk. You shouldn't be manually reloading Fighting Lion, ever.
That's completely fair.
Yeah.
The whole point is that you hit an enemy, and then you kill the enemy with something else, and that refills the mag.
Mhm.
I'm curious, Thin the Herd, the kills always drop primary ammo bit? That's useless now.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's
Primary ammo is getting sunset.
It's getting...
Ugh,
Shut up, Holly.
get
I
out,
had to.
banned.
Vex Mythoclast, this is the big one. We were
Yeah.
cautious with
I'm
tuning this one
excited.
at launch, knowing that shipping a dominant weapon that has incredibly low ownership would break PvP, and aimed for balanced but erring on the side of not letting it ship too strong. However, it fell short of balanced, ownership is much higher now, and we want it to be strong enough to be a desirable reward from Vault of Glass. First up, 40% in PvE.
Holy shit.
And that is, I believe, for both modes. They don't say it's only for one, so...
Mm-hmm.
Range stat increased to be near best in class for high impact autos. If they really want that to be best in class, this thing's gonna start reaching about 40 meters.
It's gonna
because-
Vex is gonna go from being bad to really good.
Yeah,
Fucking-
I did not keep a half Dan. A high zoom half Dan reaches around 40.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting.
So they'll probably reach around
I'm
high 30s.
I'm expecting at least 35.
Yeah.
Increased stability stat. That's nice. It was jumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Reworked the catalyst to grant stability and damage after a kill. That's really good. I don't know how long that buff is gonna last, but if it lasts long enough that you can get a kill, switch to the LFR mode, and unload all your 3 shots, that's gonna be something for sure. And just a flat-out rate of fire increase, 360 to 390. Reduce the LFR charge time to standard LFR. It was 820 before, now it's 533.
Sick.
And they're continuing to remove the Teraba curse from everything but Teraba. Come on.
Unless Teraba gets mentioned here.
Please. Hold on, Control F.
I don't see it.
Phrase not found.
Fuck.
Fuck you.
Come on. You're removing it from everything but Teraba. They're just... I'm
To be
telling you,
fair, it
they're
would
scared.
make it too strong.
They're
so
scared.
terrified of that beast being unleashed. Come on.
Whatever. That's really good for Vex. That plus Unstoppable Fusion means, like, all my problems with this are fixed, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Merciless. They had to touch it anyway because of fusion changes, but figured if we're in there, we might as well take a buff, or make a buff we'd been thinking about. They updated the perk to account for fewer shots, should build up charge rate the same amount per burst, and reduced the damage penalty for increasing charge rate by 40%. Jeez.
That's gonna fuck then.
Jotun, blah blah blah. In playtesting, this change makes almost no difference, but if they didn't mention it, someone would notice.
True.
0.04 seconds faster charge time and slightly reduced damage per shot. It's terrible. Yeah. Bastion. Feels very strong, with shotguns being less dominant, so we're preemptively adjusting it in PvP. It's also super low usage in PvE, we're buffing it too. Reduced the damage by 15%, can now not quite kill a Guardian with one shot in the 3-shot burst.
Ooh.
Increased the spread angle again. And increased PvE damage by 25%, so overall 10% increase. Sweet Business's perk. Oh, so they're not changing it in any way that would, like, nerf it. They're just making the reload on picking up primary still work, because it now refills on picking up special heavy ammo.
Oh.
So, sweet.
So it now has fucking
It has, like, half of overflow.
Yeah.
So you can fire Sweet Business. It has flow. You can fire Sweet Business for a long time with Actium War Rigs. I'm just saying.
I kind of have an issue with that because Sweet Business is kind of it's a hold down the trigger and then spray everything down.
Hold down the trigger, walk
if
forward.
you have to, if you basically have to get rid of your special ammo to use it properly.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be a huge issue, and I mean, as they said, right? Like, it can't pick up primary bricks that don't drop, so. I'm fine with it. Like, it's sort of a nerf, but it's more of a, like, we needed to make sure this perk worked at all.
Side grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, side grade is a good way of describing it.
Onto perks, I guess. Firing line. We like the idea of the perk. It was just giving away a bit too much damage for almost free. Reduced damage to 20% for all supported weapon types was before highly variable. I'll actually open D2 Gunsmith for a second. Let's see, I know it was on Tranquility before. So before it was 25 for snipers and LFRs and 20 for machine guns. So, yeah, we'll roll on snipers, LFRs, and machine guns, maybe other stuff in the future. Certain damage perks only affected impact damage on explosive weapons. We've updated these specific perks to also increase detonation damage. Kill Clip, Rampage, Adrenaline Junkie. We also fixed incorrect rarity on some recently shipped weapon perks. Okay, that explains it. That explains why Rampage didn't work on... Like, is Grenade Launcher. Hold on, is Grenade Launcher. There we go. That's why it didn't work on Deafening Whisper.
Right.
Interesting.
Because it only really deals blast damage. Alright, now we know.
Well, now my
Alright.
my Deafening Whisper will be a lot better.
I don't have a deafening whisper.
VFX. Weapon Visual Effects. That's what that stands for. We're all custom, and some didn't meet our desired cool factor. We've rebuilt these to speed up the process of adding new weapons or updating old ones while updating the visuals at the same time. Updated all Grenade Launcher and Rocket Launcher VFX. Legendary Fusion and LFRs now have distinct damage type charge VFX. Oh, neat. Okay.
So I guess like a solar one will have like a burn noise.
Yeah. Well, this is visual effects, not SFX. So yeah, it might, like, pull fire in, whereas the arc one will, like, crackle electricity forwards. I don't know.
And then, you know, Void will do its typical...
Yeah. If we get
Yeah,
stasis
Void will.
fusions, which we probably won't since they're in the kinetic slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just start, like, crystallizing.
Yeah, they'd start, like, crystallizing around the barrel.
Though, in my opinion, I feel like they theoretically could introduce stasis kinetics.
Mm.
Or stasis kinetic
Fusions.
like Fusions, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think it's impossible, is I guess the way to put it. I'm not expecting it, but I don't think it's impossible.
Right. The near future. We're devoting a lot of energy to the Witch Queen expansion, and there are a ton of things changing in a few weeks, so we want to see how things shake out before deciding on further tuning. We'll be watching Season 15's launch closely and are ready to make some small adjustments as needed in the first half of the season. The more distant future, but still before Witch Queen. LFRs and caster frame swords are still not where we want them to be, expect tweaks. Looking at underused or underpowered exotics, we'll be taking a pass at some, including Arbalist, Suros, Cryosthesia, Malfeasance, and more. Terrama!
They did say and more.
If you have issues with spamming high rate of fire semi-automatic weapons as fast as possible, they have something in the works for you.
Otters.
Priming a target and quickly swapping for a cleanup is easier than we'd like, and we're looking at options for building towards faster swap speeds. We've got a step at hitting both of these points coming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Witch Queen and beyond.
Like.
We've talked previously about wanting legendary weapons to have more identity based on their source, and expect to ship a new system for this in or close to the Witch Queen.
Interesting.
As in Season 15, we tweaked exotic primary weapons to generate ammo faster through ammo finder mods, and we have another change planned to make them more enticing in hard PvE content. That's all we've got for weapon changes for now. We're looking forward to seeing how the PvP and PvE metas shape up once you all have your hands on them next week.
Wow, I am so interested.
Is that a new rocket launcher or a two-tailed ornament?
That's a new rocket launcher. That's the ritual.
Oh yeah, it is. Still holding a lot of details about Season of the Redacted close to the chest, including new Season 15 arsenal. Do want to show off some of the other weapons we'll be earning. The new Ritual Quest weapon is a rocket launcher with the explosive light.
Excuse me?
As is the custom, you will receive a new quest to receive this weapon and then can collect Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard-themed weapon ornaments through the dish. Explosive light?
What the fuck is explosive light?
I don't know.
Hold on, like
No,
AG.
explosive light is, God damn it. It's the Wendigo perk.
What?
Whoa! Yeah, picking up an orb of power increases the next grenade's damage, blast radius, and damage. What? We're getting Wendigo back.
We're getting a Wendigo launcher.
What?
Alright.
What the
Excuse
fuck?
me?
I'm here for it, man.
I like that.
Oh, that's gonna be great, dude. If that has like auto loading and auto loading explosive light, isn't that what Wendigo had?
Yeah, it was auto-loading explosive.
Oh,
That's gonna be
that's
really
something
interesting.
You're gonna like.
That's gonna be fucking great for like Templar and such.
Yeah. Yeah, like this could actually be the rocket launcher you use for Templar, depending on just how
Where
good
is it?
explosive
Where
light
did-
is.
yeah.
I don't remember the exact perks. Yeah, I have it up on stream.
Yeah.
It was blinding auto-loading explosive light before.
God, that sounds amazing.
Okay. And we of course have our new Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit weapons.
Gambit.
Looks like we're getting a Scout for Gambit, auto rifle for.
Scout.
That scout
Yeah,
looks really
it's. Hold on, I feel like just a
good. It
couple.
looks like a better version of Bygones.
Bygones was
If
a
I'm
pulse
remembering
rifle.
Bygones. Or
Okay, I feel like just a couple days ago I was talking about how I wanted more Scout rifles with like this model.
Oh my god, that Scout looks so good.
An auto for Crucible, and a Suros sidearm for Vanguard, so it's almost certainly going to be rapid fire. I think this
Yeah.
is an adaptive,
I think it is.
and this is a high impact, so that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's high impact or precision,
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
sure.
interested in the next little bit.
Ooh, we have some plans to freshen up the loot pool of the Prophecy Dungeon. We've seen a lot of feedback to bring forward weapons original reward from the Trials of the Nine, that's a mouthful, and thought that adding these to the 9 themed dungeon was a great fit. These
agree.
weapons have been upgraded with random rolls, and certain ones will drop from specific encounters from the Prophecy Dungeon.
I am
Nice.
excited.
On top
So,
of all these weapons, we are also updating the world pool with some fresh drops.
I see
Here-
one you'll be interested in.
Here are new weapons you can expect to start seeing pop up in the wild.
There it
That's a
is,
goddamn.
dude.
That's a Viced.
Yeah, I need
Scoob,
it.
My black
I need
scorpion baby.
Scoob, it's Skadelock!
It's holy shit! It's Skadelock. It's back. Also, okay, hold on, this continues. I swear to God, a couple days ago, I was saying I wanted to see more sniper rifles with, like, the Dead Zone rifle model. And look at that!
I was just thinking about fucking Skadelock the other day, and was like, man, I always thought that Skadelock was just a funny meme between me and Scoob, and there it is!
There's Scathe. That has to be Skathelock.
That is, I just pulled
looks
it up. I just pulled it up. That is 100% Skadelock.
Yeah, that's Skathelock. That's one to
That is
one.
Skadelock. What is that pulse rifle though?
I don't know.
It's
I-
cool, is what it is.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up the pulse rifles.
I don't think it's a model we have in game right now.
Maybe
Or at least not
It might have
not
been
that exact
It might have been
one.
a year one weapon.
At least not that exact model with the embellishments.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I'm really happy
Reminds
that
me of Nessus.
that's
I don't know
that's
why.
looking like Black Scorpion, my original rapid fire love.
Yeah.
God, I just love the fact that it's Skadelock.
Yeah, of all the auto rifles. All right.
All right.
And I'm excited for some of these trials weapons as well. I just really like the aesthetic of, I believe this is a pulse or an auto. I don't know.
Which one?
Which one?
The middle right one below the sniper.
Middle-
The red
Oh.
one? Yeah.
That's
I do
definitely a
think it
pulse.
looks-
No,
That's a pulse.
the trials of the 9 weapon.
Oh. Yeah, no, that
Uh,
is an auto.
Let's see, can I do
Mm,
collection?
I'm
No,
like
that's-
90% sure that's
no,
the
that-
auto.
I'm pretty sure that's an SMG. I don't think there was an auto in the Trials of the 9 lineup.
might have been
It
a
does
Smig
give me
Venom.
the vibes of like a Vector, so I want to say it's an SMG, but it also
It
looks
is-
too big for Destiny SMGs.
It's an auto weapon of some kind. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's,
All right. Relief efforts. This is.
I'm just looking at Trials of the 9 weapons to figure out what was what.
Yep. This is some Bungie Foundation stuff. Let's
Yep.
see. Relief efforts. Partners in disaster relief.
The rest is just all stuff.
Direct donations. If you donate $25 to the Bungie Foundation, you will receive the Anchor Point emblem on September 9th. There is a Guardian of Hope T-shirt. Bungie Foundation will match up to 25,000. Provide shipping details later. Your
No, that
victory
is-
gives the city hope, Guardian.
So
No,
it's-
that is an auto rifle.
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna
the
say it's
prosecutor from
looking like
Vanilla.
it's...
Okay, it's a 450
Yeah.
auto.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I just didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah. Okay, that makes it a precision frame. You.
Mhm. Shame.
I
No longer excited.
I'm interested in the sounds of them, though, mostly.
Every customer will receive the Vital Elixir emblem distributed on Thursday, September 9th. Bungie Store Initiative. This emblem is coming back. Team Rubicon, Directed Relief. Bungie Artists.
Rubicon.
Okay, so this is some art from the last season.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the amazing artists at Bungie. And Redacted Report. This is their report. Update 3.3.0. On Tuesday, August 24th. Destiny 2 will undergo maintenance in preparation for the update. Below is a timeline of events. Notes sometimes may be subject to change during the maintenance period. 8 a.m. PDT. Maintenance begins. That is also when the Witch Queen reveal begins. 8:45. Players are removed from activities. Destiny 2 is brought offline. 10 a.m. It will be available across all platforms and regions. You will be able to log back in. And 12 p.m. Maintenance is expected to conclude. Below are some issues that will be resolved with 3.3. A complete list will be shared when the update goes live. You will no longer get birded when going to the Wall of Wishes. Adept Big One spec will appear in collections. Bounties, Valor, and weekly challenges will correctly gain progress in Crucible matches. Interesting. Claim your rewards, Season 14 Bungie rewards, seasonal challenges, Vanguard tokens, Valor rewards, Infamy rewards, Splicer Servitor engrams. Season of the Chosen, pass items on our previous season webpage. Make sure to check each character. Some players may have to use a mobile app for those rewards. As a reminder, crossplay will go live on the 24th. When you log in the first time to play Season of the Redacted, your name on whatever platform you log in on will become your Bungie name for when it goes live. Here's some reminders. It will be your display name of the first platform that you log into after 10 a.m. PDT August 24th. ID numbers, non-standard characters, and symbols will be removed and excluded. If a name violates Code of Conduct, it will be changed to Guardian. Name changes will not be immediately available. For Steam players, it is your profile name, not your account name. It can be up to 26 characters. Cyrillic characters are supported in each language that Destiny 2 supports, and following languages are also supported: Japanese, Korean, Simplified, and Traditional Chinese.
Alright, Holly, you can change your name back.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Heroes Memorial Quest. Some players have reported issues acquiring the final season of the Splicer quest. To resolve the issue, log into each character, check the servitor and the quest archive. You might have to listen to each radio message by going to Orbit and back to the Helm. You may have to complete all Season 14 quests in your inventory and log out and back into the game, or you may have to pick up and complete a bounty and complete the override activity. Known issues. We're almost done. I read it. I'm excited. We have resolved an issue causing... okay, this is Twitch extension stuff. Xbox players negative silver balances. Players with
really
a full
funny.
inventory will not earn Season of the Redacted seasonal currency, and currency will not go to the Postmaster. Make sure your inventory has slots open. The Arbalist exotic linear fusion rifle will not work with anti-champion mods in Season of the Redacted. In a future update, guess what? Lucille.
Huh? What the?
Anti-barrier will be added as an intrinsic perk for the weapon. To Arbalist. Yeah! Let's see. When charged melee is mapped to an input, changing the button layout will retain that mapping. Can reset custom layout. Okay.
I don't like that. I don't.
The Vex. Huh?
I don't like one of those lines.
The Vex fanatics.
Elevate.
Wait. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The corrupted. Well, hold on. I'm gonna huff some copium. Maybe it's not coming back next season. Maybe it's just because the regular strike's broken. Anyways, the Fnatic Radiolarian fluid pool persists and continues to do damage for about 8 to 9 seconds after the visual pool disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, elevator and corrupted strikes cannot be interacted with sometimes, blocking progression of the strike. Warlock's Nova Warp doesn't blink if hold sprint is active, and a second weekly Nightfall score tracker is present in the stats trackers. Movie night. Yep. Artist of the week.
There's an art I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is a very.
It's
very
yeah.
Kinds of.
All right, 5 more sleeps until the reveal. You're more than welcome to join us for the main party on our channels if you have a community that you like watching the reveals with. Co-streaming is allowed for this event. I will be co-streaming it, if you couldn't guess. Vex is now meta-defining. I don't know if it's going to be meta-defining, but Vex is definitely going to be in there.
Yeah, I would say it would be meta, maybe
yeah.
not defining.
At least for as long as there are fusion mods.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mr. X is fucking shredded
that was
in that image.
meat.
Yeah, I'm aware, Malik.
Meat.
We've been hyping this up. At the same time, don't want to overhype. You should expect at least one video and someone talking about Destiny. I've said too much.
Yeah.
Listen, we are excited and hope you enjoy what we've been cooking up. See you next Tuesday. Space period. Alright.
Wait. Click on the period.
Was
Click
it a
on the
link?
space.
Click on the space period.
Nice. It is a Cosmo TWAB, so there's a cat somewhere in there.
Nice.
Yeah!
Let's
Cat
go!
cat.webp.
Good cat.
Cat.
Alright.
What?
So as an overview, no more quick swapping. Nice. Some stasis stuff. I'm pretty positive about
Me too.
all these perk changes, I think. I'm glad that primary weapons have infinite ammo now.
Oh my
Same.
god.
I'm still the tiniest bit worried about fighting Lion, but
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
grenade launchers usually have a reload stat somewhere in the 70s or 80s, so it's gonna reload really slowly.
I know.
Machine guns are gonna be interesting. Scouts and hand cannons. I'm excited.
Okay. TWAB is now up to 17.6k, and they've actually changed the description of it. Gamers discussed the new This Week at Bungie blog post.
That makes sense.
long
Fusion
awaited for it.
changes. I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
Me too.
Interested to see how this is gonna play out.
Hmm.
Dude,
I'm still curious what those fucking things in the one Tangled Shore Lost sector were about.
Oh yeah, I
like,
think those were
never-
a Witch Queens thing.
Maybe,
Mhm.
yeah.
Anarchy nerf. Deserved, obviously. I
Yeah.
think it'll still be good for GMs and specific situations for spawn trapping.
Mm-hmm.
Xenophage, unexpected, like left field
Yeah.
for Xeno
Yeah,
here.
not what I was expecting.
Not a nerf, not a buff, side grade.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting Lion.
Or enough.
Fighting Lion is fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, Vex Mythoclast. This is, I think, the biggest buff in this TWAB
Mm-hmm.
by far. I mean, just
Mm-hmm.
we all remember what happened when Xenophage got a 50% buff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vex got only 10% less than that, a fire rate increase, Rampage, LFR charge time decrease. It got the Teraba curse removed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be using Vex Mythoclast during day one.
Same.
Merciless got a nice buff. We're gonna see how that does for boss DPS. Jotun got basically unchanged. Bastion got another nerf in PvP. Minor PvE buff. Interesting to see how that's gonna go. Sweet Business is gonna go fucking brr. Let's see. Firing Line, minor nerf, that's fine. I'm glad that the grenade launcher stuff was fixed. VFX, Arbalist. I mean, yeah, really just excited about
Yeah.
I'm
all
really
this.
excited too.
This rocket launcher.
It's gonna be fun.
Hold on, let me open up the modifier spreadsheet. Because I still have... Okay, it's loading. Just to see how much of a buff Explosive Light is. I mean,
Oh, man.
new Vanguard weapons, Trials of the Nine weapons, fucking Scathe Lock. It's-
Lock.
I know that it's in the Whirlpool and it's gonna be, like, you probably can't farm it, but, like, I'm going, if I can, for a God Roll Scathe Lock.
Me too.
The future workload and all the faction stuff was in Umbral, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just slap it in an Umbral. Not to mention, you have how
Exactly.
many fucking gunsmith materials?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, like, yeah. Also, Black Scorpion.
I'm
Yeah, that's
so
coming back.
excited for that.
I'm
God.
really excited to see some of the, like, EDZ weapons come back. It makes me wonder if we're getting... If the season is gonna focus on the EDZ.
It's not impossible. It could
Maybe.
involve the EDZ in some capacity.
Maybe.
And, I mean, yeah, I think that's about it.
I'm very hyped.
Okay, this spreadsheet is having issues. A lot of people are probably trying to access it right now.
Fucking Scathe Lock.
I'm so hyped.
Alright, whatever. Yeah, Scathe Lock. That's really what to take away from this whole TWAB is Scathe Lock.
It's so good.
I think that's it. For those of you watching on YouTube, congratulations, you just watched a 55-minute TWAB video.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. Those are both ways to know when I'm doing stuff, like posting videos or going live. You can subscribe for that as well. This was recorded live, if you couldn't tell, on this very YouTube channel. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, night, wherever it may be. I am getting the Season 14 recap video out very soon. Hopefully, I'm going to do my absolute best to get it out before next season. Have a good day.